Welcome back. I am Sam, and please excuse the mess over here. Honestly, just mess in general. I was not planning on filming this today, but I just got kind of inspired to do so I'm going to. But anyways, today I am going to talk about the books that I bought when I was on vacation. I recently, well actually, it was at the beginning of summer, and now I'm filming this on the 29th of August, so not so recently. But I went to Bayfield in northern Wisconsin, which is pretty much the tippy top of Wisconsin, and right on Lake Superior. It is a beautiful, beautiful little town. I've been there a few times, and I love it very much. If I didn't live where I lived now, I would definitely want to live there. It's low humidity on the lake, which is my thing. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'll maybe put up some video that I took while I was there, just so you can kind of get an image. But my sister and I, we took a sister trip vacation at the beginning of summer. And one of the things that we love to do is visit a bunch of different bookstores while we're on vacation, buy a crap ton of books. And we're also on a mission to visit all of the bookstores in the Midwest. There is a Midwest bookstore map that is listing all the indie bookstores in the area. So we've been trying to hit up as many as we can. And this vacation was great for that. I ended up buying, I believe, 20 books on vacation. I went a little nuts, but I only have 16 here that I'm going to show you. I don't know where the other 4 are. They're somewhere, but I lost them, I guess. I don't know. Maybe if I find them again. That's when you know you've bought too many books, if you can't even keep track of all the ones you've bought. Anyways, I'll start talking about the books now. So these books, I've broken them down in categories of where I bought them. So these ones come from 2 different bookstores. I can't remember which ones individually came from each bookstore, so I'm just going to combine them together. So there are 2 independent bookstores in Bayfield, which is awesome. There is Apostle Islands Books, which is all new books. It's such a cute little store, great selection, love it. There's also Honest Dog Books, which I believe is newer. Don't quote me on that, but I think that it is. It has new and used books. Really cute space too. It was fun to visit both of them, and I found a ton. So I'll just start talking about them now. But first off, I'm filming these on my phone, so they are backwards. And again, I'm sorry. So first one is called Mighty Fitz, The Sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald, which, if you're not familiar, it was a ship on the Great Lakes that carried ore from different ports in the Great Lakes. In the 70s, there was a storm in November, and this was like towards the end of shipping season. It still went out for one last run. The last communication, it was during the storm, the last communication from the captain of the Fitzgerald was, "We're holding our own, we're fine, we're holding our own." And then no one heard from them again, and the ship sank. So this is the story of that and the crew. Fun fact, I am mildly obsessed with shipwrecks. I think it has to do with the Titanic, because that came out when I was a kid. And it was in 1997, and I was like 6 years old. We used to play Titanic at recess. I loved that movie so much, and I think it really just solidified my obsession with shipwrecks. So I even on this vacation went to a history museum and went to a shipwreck talk because I was just so interested. So anyways, I already have finished this book. I actually finished it, I think, while I was on vacation, or right after I got back. I started reading it on vacation and then finished it. So I really enjoyed it. Super good. I'm going to give it to my dad next to read. I think he will like it. But yeah, this one. Next one up is If You Lived Here, You'd Be Home by Now. Why We Traded the Commuting Life for a Little House on the Prairie. Have not read this yet, but this is about a couple who decide to move from the suburbs out east to small town in Minnesota. They moved to what is called by some the worst place in America to live. So they decided to go make that their home. But basically it's about them learning about the local culture and neighbors. And I live in the country. I have almost always lived in the country, save for a stretch of time in my 20s. I love it. I mean, I live in a cabin in the middle of nowhere. I love it so much. I love the community of rural areas and small towns. So this book, I felt like it was right up my alley and would speak to me. So bought that. Next, we have The Long Shining Waters. And I will be honest, I don't remember at all what this is about. So I'm just kind of looking at the back. So this has got 3 different narratives to it. It has a story of an Ojibwe woman in the 1600s, a Norwegian couple on the North Shore in 1902, and then in modern times in the year 2000, a bartender named Nora. And it's telling different stories, interweaving all 3 narratives somehow. Don't exactly know how, obviously, haven't read it. It was set in the area. I love a good local read, especially like to buy books set in the area that I'm visiting. So I don't know, more on that when I read it, I guess. Next one I have is Eiger Dreams by John Krakauer. I'm a huge John Krakauer fan. I might do a video at one point. Humble brag, I've interacted with him on Instagram. That was the cringiest way. I might edit that out, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I actually have interacted with him on Instagram, which was quite cool. He seems really neat. I also, in addition to my fascination with shipwrecks, I love mountaineering accidents. This makes me sound really macabre, but I'm generally not. I just find these things interesting. But I loved his book Into Thin Air, which is about the Everest disaster when he climbed Everest. And so this one is a bunch of short stories about different summits of K2, Denali, Everest. So I'm just looking forward to more of that content. So that'll be fun. Next up, I have Books and Islands in Ojibwe Country. Traveling Through the Land of My Ancestors by Louise Erdick. She is semi-local from the Twin Cities, so that's very cool. I have been meaning to visit Birchbark Books, which is an independent bookstore in the Twin Cities owned by her. So that would be very neat. She's basically kind of going through history of the Ojibwe. I'm also super fascinated in Native American culture, especially locally in the Midwest. So this is a blending of history and mythology and a memoir for her. So I'm really interested to dive into this. It's very short, but I think it'll be really cool to read. All right, next one is Warrior Princesses Strike Back: How Lakota Twins Fight Oppression and Heal Through Connectedness. This one spoke to me. It is, and I'm a twin, so that's kind of cool. It is 2 women on the Pine Ridge Reservation, which is in South Dakota, and it's actually the poorest Native American reservation in the U.S. So if you can, I'll put some links in the description if you can donate or anything. That would be super helpful and awesome. But yeah, just talking about their careers, their life growing up, decolonizing their mindsets and everything. So that should be very interesting to read. And then I have Women Rowing North, Navigating Life's Currents and Flourishing as We Age, which might seem like not something I would want to pick up, being that I am only 32 yet, but I find the aging process very interesting, and I've been through a few different things over the past couple years that have felt like I'm aging quicker than I would like. So this is just about learning how to handle the seasons of our life, as Stevie Nicks would say. But yeah, I mean, I've already read it and I really enjoyed it. It felt very comforting and inspiring. As women age, we tend to be negated and considered not important anymore, which is obviously garbage. But this gave me a lot of hope at women's resiliency and showing a lot of different ways that life can look like as we grow older. So quite enjoyed that. Now the next 3 books I actually purchased in a little gift shop that is mainly focused on like Scandinavian clothing, pottery, dishware, cookware, gifts, that kind of thing. Here's another thing I'm very interested in. I love Scandinavian culture too. Very interested in it. So there were 3 books there that I was super interested to pick up, and so I did. First one is Everyday Sisu, Tapping into Finnish Fortitude for a Happier, More Resilient Life. Really pretty hardcover book. Pretty unpapered color. Haven't gotten into it yet, but I think it would be a lovely fall read. Sisu is the mindset that is basically resiliency in Scandinavian cultures, so that's super interesting. I have also read The Finnish Way by this author, Katja Pantsar. I have read that book as well, so this will be fun. And then I have The Open Air Life, which is discovering the Nordic art of fruitlessliv. Don't know if I pronounced that at all correctly. And embrace nature every day. I love nature. I live in the country again. I love nature. I love hiking, being out in the woods, camping, all of that. So this will be, I'm sure, right up my alley. Very beautiful. It's got like illustrations and stuff in it. The text is all blue. I don't know if you can see that, but it's very, very pretty, cool looking book. So I'm excited to read that too. And then this one is Secrets of the Sprakar pronunciation. Iceland's extraordinary women and how they are changing the world. So love me some female empowerment. This will be really cool. I am always interested to learn more about different countries' gender roles, and Iceland is pretty advanced as far as gender equality goes, so that's awesome. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to say about it, but it's a nonfiction, obviously, interested to get into that. All right, these next 3 I picked up at a gift shop, again, right down by the lakeside, and they are all specific to the area. So I've got Great Lakes Crime, Murder, Mayhem, Booze, and Broads. Not so sure about the broads in the title, but it sounds very interesting. It's talking about like prohibition at the Great Lakes. We've got some flapper looking lady on the cover. There's some illustrations, piracy, rum running. So that'll be interesting, some local history. And then I've also got The Mysterious North Shore of Lake Superior, which are short, creepy stories that I think I will probably read this fall for spooky season. So that will be fun. It's a collection of short stories about ghosts, UFOs, shipwrecks, and more. And then I also have The Unholy Apostles, Shipwreck Tales of the Apostle Islands. I told you I love shipwrecks. So that's going to be really cool. If you can see this little map, I know it's backwards, but here are the Apostle Islands. That's Lake Superior, and then there are those little islands right there. And I'm quite excited to read this. I think that it'll be very interesting, and it's got pictures of the ships and everything, telling the story of all the ones that the Great Lakes have a ton of shipwrecks in them, so there's a lot there, but that'll be cool. All right, last stretch here. I stopped at 2 different bookstores on the way back, and right now the names are escaping me, so I will just link them in the description when I look them up. But basically, I have Go Gently by Bonnie Wright of Harry Potter fame. Actionable Steps to Nurture Yourself and the Planet. I've just been meaning to pick that up for a while. Lots of practical tips and everything in here to go green, do better for the environment, which we need more of that. So this will be good to get to. Keeping kind of in that theme is Fresh Banana Leaves, which is Healing Indigenous Landscapes Through Indigenous Science. So that will be cool. It is written by a Latin American woman, talking about land protecting and how Indigenous communities are really well placed to tell us how to preserve the land, take care of the land, rather than what we are doing. So this will be good, I'm sure. And then I also have, last but not least, Searching for Savannah, which is the murder of one Native American woman and the violence against the many. I finished this one already too. It was a very quick read. Take care if you do read it. It is very triggering. It's about the murder of Savannah Greywind in North Dakota, which I'm sure actually kind of a lot of people have heard about that. She was a pregnant woman who was killed and her baby was taken from her. Please take care of reading that if you do. It's not one I would recommend to just anyone, because it is such a difficult subject matter, but it is important to read about missing and murdered Indigenous women. That's something that I'm very passionate about, so that is why I picked this up. But I don't like glorifying true crime or anything like that. So I don't always recommend that kind of book. But that was kind of a convoluted way to just say, again, just take care if you do decide to read it. But I have. On that note, don't know why I saved that one for last, I'm sorry. But anyways, those are the books I picked up while I was on vacation. And I will put some links to the bookstores and books down below if you want to check any of them out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back again sometime soon.